These soldiers are from Norway, a country where it's compulsory for 17-year-olds to sign up for national service. However, only around 15% of that age group are selected each year.
I was an apprentice as a lift engineer, so I built and serviced lifts.
In the beginning it was really hard. It was much harder than I imagined, but it was also fun. I have learned a lot.
The selection process begins by submitting paperwork online.
Everyone has to fill out, but there's one question, do you want to join or no? So it's 1 year where you do a lot of different stuff. It's quite different from being a civilian.
We are actually very fond of that system because we think it works and it really gives a bigger connection between our armed forces and the population, which gives a broader perspective on defense within the population than we think we would have if we had an all-volunteer force.
Most of these soldiers are conscripts, nearing the end of their training. They're in Latvia, taking part in an exercise which pits nations against each other and scores them on their defensive and offensive tactics.
It's pretty cool actually to see how much we as a conscript who has trained for 10 months can weigh out against the professional soldiers who have been in the army, for example, 6 years. We fought against the Estonians the other day and we won both the battles. So it's pretty good.
After training, most soldiers return to civilian life. 21-year-old Martin Larsen works as a supply teacher back home.
Now I'm going back to that school again for first and then move out of home and yes, study some more and find out what I really want to do.
Some soldiers become reservists while others apply to enlist. Sergeant Rasmus Rindal has served for 3 years.
I have a bachelor's degree in finance, and that was that was what I wanted to do, become a stockbroker, actually.
But it was the comradeship that made the 25-year-old decide to stay on.
Working hard, big backpacks, long walks, it makes strong bonds between people, and that's what I like the most about it. And also the career opportunities, of course.
Norway's national service dates back 200 years, ever since the creation of the country's constitution, which states that any citizen between the ages of 18 and 44 can be called upon to defend the country.
It was last used during the Second World War when soldiers were mobilized following the German Nazi invasion on Norway, the attack on 9 April 1940. That was when we last used it for defensive purposes in Norway.
Since then, Norway has been involved in very few conflicts, but its defence spending is being increased this year by more than 3%. Like some other NATO allies, the country is facing increased tension in Europe and is making moves to bolster its defences. At least with national service, it has guaranteed boots on the ground available.
If it would be a real crisis and someone wants to attack Norway, then of course it's my duty to defend.
Reporting for NATO Channel, this is Mel Preen.